Good evening. It is 7 o'clock on December 1st. December 1st. Thanksgiving is behind us. We're in the holiday season. Recognize that we have full attendance by the Township Committee here in person. This, as I forgot to mention, this is our regularly scheduled December 1st Township Committee meeting. Ms. Ray, may we please have the Open Public Meetings Act statement?
Yes, Mayor. Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News Somerville, Bernardsville News Whippany, and to all subscribers, and posted at the Township Municipal Building on January 7, 2025.
Great, thank you. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is the time we open up the meeting for public comment. Any member of the public here in person or by Zoom, now's your opportunity to ask a question, make a statement. You're not guaranteed of a dialogue. You're not guaranteed of an answer. You're certainly not guaranteed of an answer that you're going to like. No one here in the room. Robin, do we have anyone participating via Zoom?
No public.
Okay, let's keep going. Approval of minutes. We have one set of meeting minutes to approve. That's November 17th Township Committee meeting at 7 p.m. No executive session. Any comments or questions regarding those minutes that have not otherwise already been provided to Ms. Ray?
No.
Seeing none, take a motion to approve the minutes for November 17.
So moved.
Second. Got that for Renee. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Thank you.
We have no permits and raffles today.
Wow.
Correct.
So we'll go right into monthly report discussion by subcommittee chair. And for Bill, you were down at the league. So if you can also don't mind filling in your whatever you learned down in Atlantic City. So we'll start with Committeeman Rosen.
Thank you, Mayor. I attended the League of Municipalities a couple of weeks ago in Atlantic City with you, Robin, Jason, and two other Bedminster Township employees. And I just thought for a newly elected committeeman, it was a very great experience in terms of the presentations, networking, and getting to know the people from Bedminster a little bit better. Some of the highlights were a ethics for government officials presentation, which basically presented different scenarios. Were they conflicts or not? I also attended purchasing and how it relates to recreation, and it went through bid processes, when a bid has to be done, what the limits are, depending on whether there is a purchasing agent or a QPA. I attended the past governor's session with you, which was only one past governor who served for about 2 minutes, and a couple of other pundits. And, you know, they gave their outlook, which was mixed for the next 4 years in Jersey. And I think the most controversial one was the affordable housing presentation and the fireworks that erupted after the presentation. But all in all, and I came back with the shirt on my back, so can't argue with that. But all in all, like I said, I thought for a newly elected committee person, it was a really it was a good experience.
Great. Okay, and for your subcommittee report?
Nothing to report since the last meeting on rec. We do have, which I guess is rec related, the holiday market and the last market of the season on Saturday.
Great. Okay. Committeewoman Hernandez.
Thank you, Mayor. I hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving. I just wanted to give you the update. Leaf pickup is ongoing. They've picked up some trees and branches from the storms that took place. Salt has been delivered, and they started putting salt spreaders on equipment. And hopefully it doesn't snow tonight. We don't need them, but you never know, right? that time of year. There was some work done on heavy equipment, the grading of dirt roads, new stone was placed at the JVH parking and driveway area. They have been working on roadside mowing. 3 of our DPW employees went to CDL training to upgrade their classification, which is great. We love to see our employees, learning and growing. Steeplechase Court and Frontage Road received new pavement. They paved the ADA parking spot in River Road Park, and they set up for the JVH for Christmas. That's the DPW update.
Okay. Committeewoman Mareski.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. On November 20th, I attended my first Historic Preservation Committee meeting. It was really kind of cool to see the process of how the committee goes through approving things that we'll see in our town. We had 2 applicants for some new signage. And it was really kind of cool to see how picky actually our historic pres people get to make sure that our town is appropriate, it's pretty, and it's consistent. So that was really cool. They were talking about some historic markers. One will be at the Pocket Park that's coming up in Pluckman. And then we talked about they talked about the Victory Trail sign and options of where to put that sign. Because we want to the Historic Pres wants to make sure that the signage is consistent. And that sign's going to be a little bit different, but we thought it still is going to have some really valuable information. We just want to keep it from clashing with the other things that are being put up. So that will be an ongoing discussion. And then this past weekend, with Jacobus Vanderveer House was our Colonial Christmas. Unfortunately, I was out of town for most of the event. I did get to go on Sunday morning to help out with the gingerbread houses, and there were a ton of kids and adults that came downstairs with their houses that were put together. Most of the houses are already started by Robin and her crew, but they did some really cute things with Chex Mix and gumdrops and lots of smiles on both the kids and the parents' faces. But I will turn it over then to the mayor and to Robin to let us know how the tree lighting went and the Saturday and the cocktail event. I heard it was an amazing weekend.
Great, thank you. And we'll save that for the administrator's report.
Okay.
Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. If you're waiting for an exciting Board of Health report, tonight's not the night. They had their regularly scheduled November meeting. They adopted minutes, a couple of resolutions, no new applications were heard, and there will be no December meeting. I did attend the Board of Ed meeting in November. Superintendent Giordano is part of a larger committee that's tasked with examining potential synergies between the elementary and middle school operations at Bedminster School and the Somerset Hill School District. This is only in the study phase, and something or nothing may come out of it. Dr. G asked that in addition to representatives from the administration and the teachers and the parents, they would also like to include a member of the Bedminster Township Committee in this effort. After consulting with the mayor, we determined I will run point on that effort and keep the rest of the governing body apprised. Looks like the work will begin in late winter or early spring. So as I like to say, more to follow on that one. Mayor, that's all I have.
And that regionalization study is being funded through Somerset Hill School District with some grants from the state.
Yep, exactly.
So from my perspective, there's no land use board meeting since our last meeting. There was no library meeting since our last meeting. There was no ag board meeting. We have no land use board coming up this week. We do?
Yes,
We do?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, geez. And I'm double booked. Not the first time.
I think there are no applications. I think it's adopt some minutes and resolutions, and that's it. I
Okay.
believe
We'll have to check to see if there any of those,
are.
if we're eligible.
Yeah, I'm not sure we are.
We may not be.
Yeah.
Did attend the tree lighting. Fantastic. Robin will run through the numbers. Great turnout. Down at the league. So the seminars I attended at the league, I attended one on DP, New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, and the resiliency regulations that are coming down the pike that are expected to be adopted before the end of Governor Murphy's term. Standing room only at that seminar. A lot of comments from league participants, especially from the municipalities that are directly affected. So it was very interesting. We already went through a lot of that with the inland flood protection rules that were adopted a couple of years ago. The main emphasis of these resiliency rules are going to be on coastal flooding. So it doesn't necessarily directly impact us, although some of the stormwater requirements that are built in may. Affordable housing. I attended 2 separate affordable housing seminars. The first one I attended was with representatives from DCA and HMFA and talking about the different programs that are being implemented by both DCA and HMFA on the new affordable housing legislation, and a couple, some very interesting comments. I forwarded some of those directly to Attorney Bellardo because I think they have some bearing on what we do here in Bedminster. It's certainly clear that for the extension of new deed restrictions, or I'm sorry, the extension of deed restrictions, DCA and HMFA are requiring that all extensions now comply with the UHAC rules, which is a change for Bedminster since our deed restrictions that are built into the master deeds of the condominiums for affordable housing predate the UHAC rules. So I was in this seminar texting John. John's, telling this is what we do now, this is what we don't do. So that was very interesting. There was some discussion about whether affordable housing restrictions should survive foreclosures. And there was actually a little bit of discussion among the panelists between DCA and HMFA on that. The current rule is that deed restrictions will survive foreclosure. There was some concerns that that would affect the financeability from the banks on those deed restricted units, but right now the position is that deed restrictions do survive foreclosure is built into the forthcoming regulations. What was interesting is that they were talking about regulations that have already been approved but not yet published. So it is just, they're coming down the pike. So what they told us is that they've been approved. Official adoption is not until they're actually published, but they're coming down. So for our housing liaisons, they should be out. Next New Jersey Register might actually be tomorrow. So maybe they'll be published tomorrow. If they're not published tomorrow, then in 2 weeks. So it's interesting. And there was also a woman from a consulting firm who was about the different tools for financing affordable housing projects. And what was interesting is that she was not only looking at new projects, but she was looking at the financing issues with older projects and looking at HMFA programs, the long-term tax exemption pilots, and there's apparently a Fair Housing Act pilot as well. So that if you know what you're doing and you properly assemble your tax credits and pilots, it's the opportunity to provide enhancement for older developments, which is really what we have in Bedminster. The affordable housing projects we have in Bedminster range anything from 40 to 30 years old. So some of these programs, I also forwarded these to John. So John has some familiarity with the woman who is speaking, And so we may be doing some follow-up with her to see if she can provide some advice here in Bedminster. Bill mentioned the governor's report, which is interesting, little discussion on the politics of the last election, the voter turnout. But then the second affordable housing that seminar that both Bill and I attended. John, it was the two speakers were Ed Buzak and Jeff Seranian.
Know both well.
Who you know both well. Who you know both. Anyway. So it was interesting. They ran through the numbers. They ran through what fair share housing is doing today. They ran through the litigation and objections that have been filed. The fireworks came out during the comments and questions section when a councilwoman from Princeton sort of attacked the approach that some of the towns have been taking on fighting fair share housing and the DCA numbers. And then Adam Gordon from Fair Share came out and said that everything that Buzak and Seradian had laid out in the seminar was misleading and was providing bad advice to the towns. This is essentially what he said.
Yeah.
I think it may have been exactly what he said.
That's
And
it.
so it's the first time I've seen one of these sessions at the league where it actually got into more than just banter between the panelists and one of the audience members, but that was very, very different. One of the pointers that Jeff Seranian said, if you can extend units, do it. Do it, because if you don't extend the units, then your next chance is building new units. And if you're doing them on a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 basis, you may end up with projects you just don't want. So his position was certainly extend the units and do what you need to do to keep your immunity.
Mayor, if I
Yes.
may on that, I've indicated to you in a conversation today that we should have some very good news with respect to our fourth round affordable obligations in the works, and probably an announcement at our December 15th meeting. So we have no need to go to battle with Fair Share Housing. We have a good relationship with their representative. And this particular township committee has done a yeoman's job at moving forward with our numbers, which are 72 future and 6 rehab. So we're in good shape, and stay tuned. That's all I have to say. We will have something public very shortly.
So Jake, December 15th, we hope to report on our status with the objection filed by Fair Share Housing to our affordable housing plan. We'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. We'll wrap it with a big red bow.
Okay.
Mayor,
Yes,
I forgot to
yes,
mention
yes.
I attended the presentation you moderated on historic preservation.
And I was just about to get to that one.
Okay. Well, here's the intro now.
So I was asked, I attended another seminar on actually on data management, and it was really about polling residents. I mean, frankly, I think the last polling we did was the polling that Gina ran with REC. So it was just talking about, with engagement and making sure that you reach all sectors of your community. But I did moderate a panel on, just want to get the official name of it, benefits of historic preservation and the tools to make it happen. The speakers included Glenn Saponis, Executive Director of the New Jersey Historic Trust from DCA, Division of Community Affairs, Gina Fischetti, the Chief Counsel for the Office of Local Planning Services. And then we had someone from the Montclair Planning Department talking about the planning efforts that they've done. Interesting, DCA does have some money. There is some money out. Well, actually, let me tell you, DCA has money to help us. And one of the things that both Glenn Saponis from the Historic Trust and Gina Fischetti mentioned were engagement and trying to use historic preservation, especially in your historic neighborhoods, to whether it's tourism or it's a sort of a branding. And I sent a text to, and it was great because Robin and Jason and Bill were both in attendance. And largely it hit upon some of the issues that we are doing here in both Pluckman and in Bedminster Village, which are two historic districts. And, you know, what can you do to establish guidelines with your HPC and your zoning so that you really create a sense of place in your historic district, and that in turn can generate economic revival, a place where people want to be, where businesses want to be, where people want to live. Lots of takeaways, I believe, from the presentations. It also coincides with Main Street, New Jersey. Once again, it was another planning device to make sure that your historic districts, to the extent they usually are main streets, in our case, they certainly are, and the opportunity for funding and tax credits and I think what my notes say here, transformative strategies on economic vitality, design, promotion, and then just essentially identifying the opportunities in your historic main streets. We know that the opportunities are there. There are some underutilized or vacant buildings that look like they just need a little bit of a spur. And to some extent, that's what we've been trying to do with both Bedminster Village and Pluckman. And we hope that the new Pocket Park is part of those efforts. And then the other thing I will mention at the league is I had raised the issue with the League of Municipalities about dealing with hoarding issues. And I raised this issue both to the Somerset Hills Public Safety Committee and then again with the league. And the league then adopted a resolution to highlight the need for resources to deal with hoarding. So this was actually, it's sponsored by me. This is, I think, the second year in a row that we actually had a resolution approved by the league. What these resolutions do, they then go to the legislature, and hopefully someone in the legislature picks one of these resolutions up, decides to sponsor a bill, and you know, cross our fingers that we get some action from the legislature in 2026 on that resolution. That's what I have. And Ms. Ray, I'll turn it over to you for the administrator's report. Talk about your report, the league, and if you want to talk about the numbers at JVH and the lighting, that'd be great.
Sure, absolutely. Let me just start off with the personnel manual that's coming up every 2 years. We have to, our insurance company requires that we update our model employment practices manual. We were going like gangbusters there for a little while, Amanda and I, but took a little break with the League of Municipalities and the Thanksgiving break between, but we'll get rolling on that again. We need to wrap it up for the December 15th meeting. I also attended the League of Municipalities, and in addition to several of the classes that I have to take for clerk just for my certification, I did attend several other programs which were terrific. One of them was just pretty standard Oprah updates and recent decisions. Not too much came out of that. Grant funding was a good program that I actually went to find out, and we're always looking for ways to save money. We're pretty aggressive with grants here, just to find out a couple other funding opportunities, which were made aware to all of us, which was great. I attended a right-of-way codes for new wireless technologies, which I found very interesting, and learned that we are, just like everybody else, deficient with our codes. So more to come on that. But perhaps I did attend historic preservation with the mayor's presentation. He was in charge of that program. And then perhaps my absolute favorite was the 250th celebration. That was really important. And I think it was particularly important because everybody in the Northeast is very much into celebrating the 250th because of the Revolutionary War history that's here. Great presentation by, it's broken up into 3 different sections. The last one was a terrific presentation by a woman who represents the Generation Z era and what they're actually looking for. And she was terrific. She was engaging. Everything we think we're doing right, we're doing wrong. But she said it in such a way that it made such sense. And I think everybody's going to rethink the way we do things. She talked about that they have a toolkit that's free to municipalities that will help you increase civic engagement for youth, Gen Zers, which I thought was fantastic. And so more to come on that. We'll definitely be implementing some of the strategies that she suggested, at least starting with the Vanderveer House, because that seems like it's the easiest to start with right now, since we're still in the formative stages of the commission. So that was terrific. As far as the Jacobus Vanderveer House Commission, we were able to pull off Colonial Christmas in about 45 days worth of planning. And we had a very successful tree lighting on Friday, November 28th at 5 o'clock. We figured close to 275, maybe 300. It was a very good turnout. It was a different format. The house was opened right away. The mayor welcomed all the guests and then welcomed everyone into the home. And we had some colonial barkeeps that were in there giving non-alcoholic and alcoholic little bitty samples to people who wanted to participate. So we had Santa inside because it was a cold night. And I think everybody just really appreciated kind of flowing through the house. It was beautifully decorated and just sets the tone for the holidays. On Saturday, we had over 300 visitors. I think we had 311 to be exact. It was a super fun cocktail party again in the evening with 103 in attendance. And we followed by a somewhat slow Sunday with 78 visitors. So it was a combination of historical reenactors, demonstrators, activities. There was a wreath workshop. There was which was very well attended with 20 participants. We had gingerbread workshop again. That had 23 participants. So really great. It was overall, it was a great weekend. We welcomed a lot of new visitors, and we did it without social media, which was amazing. So hopefully that'll change next year.
Yeah, it was great. So just kudos to you, to Derek Anderson, to Gina Galbraith, Steve Parker, and everyone else on the commission. You guys really rallied. And as you said, it was only a few months ago.
Right.
It's only a few months ago that we actually formed the JVH commission. And in that short time, you guys pulled off Colonial Christmas to great effect. The line to get in the house Friday night at the tree lighting was just great. And I heard from many different people, I've never been here before. And that was great. That's the opportunity. You combine these efforts, you do the tree lighting, you open the house up. It was just great. And then the enthusiasm at the cocktail party on Saturday was great. We had Commissioner Melanie Morano there from Somerset County. Mary Jane Canoes was also in attendance. It's great to see Mayor Canoes there as well. And I do want to say that Commissioner Sarasui was at the tree lighting. So we certainly had Somerset County commissioners in attendance. And it's important because they do control a lot of the grants that come to the JVH. So it's good to have them there to see what the commission is doing, to see the activation of JVH and the involvement of the community in the events. Fantastic. And we hope these, that this enthusiasm is just the beginning of some momentum and it's going to keep on rolling. So thank you, Robin.
That's great. And thank you to DPW because we couldn't have done it without Jason and his crew. They did an awful lot at the house to keep us on track.
All right. Any other reports on the league or any other committee reports? Seeing none. Chief, community policing.
No updates tonight, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Ordinances to introduce, we have none. Public hearing of ordinances, we have none. We have 3 items on the consent agenda. These are items of a routine nature. And the member of the Township Committee may pull 1, 2, or all 3 of them off for consideration. Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, please. Committeeman Hickey,
Aye.
Committeewoman Moreski,
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez,
Aye.
Committeeman Rosen,
Aye.
and Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
We have no resolutions for individual consideration. We'll take a motion to approve the bill list pending review of individual invoices.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote again, please. Committeeman Hickey,
Aye.
Committeewoman Moreski,
Aye.
Committeewoman Fernandez, Committeeman Rosen,
Aye.
and Mayor Jacobs.
Aye.
Thank you.
New business. Any Township Committee member want to put any topics up for new business consideration? Old business, utilities.
Mayor, I do not have a report. I don't know if Jason, do you have anything to add? No. The lights are staying on.
All right. John Bellardo, Pluckman Park Senior Housing.
No public updates to announce yet, Mayor.
No public updates. Somerset Hills Public Safety Committee, we did not have a committee meeting since our last township committee meeting. We do not have an executive session, so we'll run through township committee comments. And then we will adjourn for the evening. We'll start with Committeeman Rosen.
I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and getting ready for the holiday season. And as mentioned earlier, don't forget the farmer's market has the holiday market and a visit from Santa this Saturday to wrap up the season. And hopefully the weather holds up.
Thank you. Committeewoman Fernandez.
Thank you. What Bill said, thank you for and
That's enough. Committeewoman Moreski.
Hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving with their family and friends, or just had a quiet evening at home alone, whichever made you happy. And just want to say congratulations to JVH because they worked really hard at putting that together. And we're all really excited, as the mayor said, to just keep this ball rolling. The house certainly deserves it.
Great. Thank you. Committeeman Hickey.
Thank you, Mayor. Just again, congratulations to everybody on the JVH Commission and Robin. I know how hard you worked on that. It's funny what happens when you cut the velvet ropes, right? And suddenly everybody wants to be there inside the house. There was so much energy, enthusiasm. It was great. So
She still has gingerbread under her fingernails.
I'm not surprised. And it sparkles in her hair. And Mayor, you forgot to mention the farmer's market.
I thought.
Numbers.
Yes. So Colin, you just want to walk us through the last 2 farmers market numbers?
So 2 weeks ago, we had 656 people show up. And this past weekend, and it was really cold.
It was cold.
It was like 30 degrees when we got there. to
It
set
was
up.
cold.
There were 565 people who still showed up. It's
That's
terrific.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable
It's
for
like
end
the
of
first
November.
year numbers. out of
So-
15.
Right,
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Right.
We were
That's what it is.
thrilled with 500.
According to Neil Master of Guano, our rec director, so with 565 on last week.
Yes. We need 235.
If we hit 235, just 235 for the last day, we will average 1,100 attendees throughout the entire season.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
So,
That's all I have.
okay, that's all you
right,
got.
Mayor.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, thank you for that reminder. Just as everyone said, I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving and to everyone in Bedminster, the same. And best wishes for a great holiday season. And at 7:35, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.
Good night, all.
Bye, John.
Good night,
John.
John.
Hi, John.
Bye-bye.
Oh, he'll be fine down there.
Oh, yeah.